Oh my gosh, what a nice audience. You all quieted down before I even got into the stage. Good evening, everyone. And welcome to the Billy Wilder Theater, home of the public programs for the UCLA Film and Television Archive. My name is Amanda Salazar. I'm a public programmer with the Archive, and I am so honored and thrilled to be here presenting on behalf of the Archive, doing our introduction for the closing night in the series Masc, Trans Men, Butch, Dykes, and Gender-nonconforming Heroes in Cinema. Before we begin, as a land-grant institution, the Film and Television Archive at UCLA would like to acknowledge our presence on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territory of the Gabrielino and Tongva peoples. We are humbled to do work in this community. These programs and conversations that we've had over the last 5 days, really actually 4, cannot come together without generous individuals and organizations that have helped make tonight's screening and the entire series possible, and I would like to take a little extra time tonight on our closing night to thank them. All of the archive screenings at the Wilder are free thanks to a gift from an anonymous donor, and we are grateful for their support. This screening series has been made possible by the Andrew J. Keene Jr. Foundation. I would like to give a big thank you to Criterion, and therefore the Criterion Collection, who partnered with us early on so that we could be the first in-person place for this program of the series. It will actually be traveling to New York in November, so if you have any friends out there, make sure to tell them. We have been lucky to work in partnership with so many amazing organizations, and I would like to thank them as our community partners. I would like to thank Outfest, Butch Monthly LA, Everybody Los Angeles, Magic Hour, One Archives Foundation, Outright Magazine, the UCLA LGBTQ Campus Resource Center, and a special thank you to JQ International for their support of the second feature tonight, Shinjuku Boys. Many people at UCLA helped make this series a huge success, so I'd like to first give a big thank you to our director of the archive, Mei Hajong. I'd like to thank Jen Rhee, Marissa Soto, and Nicole Ucedo from our communications team. A very special thank you to our digital lab manager, Randy Yantek, who did a lot of work to make sure that this whole series looks and was presented well. And then for tonight's screening, we have an amazing crew here working with us that also makes everyone seated, and it's going to make sure the picture looks great tonight. So a big thank you to our house manager, Lauren Brown, the students that are here this evening, and also our projectionist, Leighton Hebert. And finally, as if there's so many thank yous as I told you, I would also like to acknowledge and thank the filmmakers that have joined us throughout this series over the 4 nights. And I would also like to thank you, the audience, that have graced this space over the last few nights. We've watched works together. The energy and conversation that has come out of this theater is something to be very thankful for. So please give these tremendous supporters and yourselves a round of applause. And on to tonight's program. The show will go as follows. After our introductions, we have a bit of a special guest performance, and I hope you're all in the mood for that. We will then screen. We have a little short clip. I call it kind of what's part of a See the Bigger Picture series here at the Archive that gives you an insight into what we do as an archive year-round and for long-term preservation. We will then be screening the film, A Lifetime Guarantee, Phranc's Ventures in Plastic, and then bring up a few special guests for the conversation. We will open this up for audience questions, so please be thinking about that to be ready. Take a short intermission, anywhere between 5 and 10 minutes. We'll see how long the Q&A goes, but plan on 10, and then have our screening of the closing night film, Shinjuku Boys. So over the last few months, I have had the privilege and great honor to work with the co-curators, Jenni Olson and Kate and Mark Gardner, on bringing this series to the Billy Wilder Theater. Our conversations are filled with care, generosity, and an understanding of the responsibility of showing this work at this time. See, film is a medium that is projected larger than us, as we're about to see, where we transcend time and place for the length of the film, and we get to see ourselves, immerse ourselves in the lives and experiences of those that are like us and those that are not like us, and we get to connect. Jenni and Caden curated a series using the moving image that spanned decades, genres, lengths, and centered the stories of trans, Masc, Butch, Dyke, and gender-nonconforming people, and it connected us all. That feeling is not lost on me, and hopefully that is not on you in this evening or if you have joined us throughout the series. I would now like to bring up our guide, our rock star, as she was called last night, and which is true, and one of the co-curators, Jenni Olson, who has taken us on an incredible journey thus far, creating space for a very special dialogue that only happens around film and the audience. Jenni Olson is a queer film historian, writer, and filmmaker who has been a leading figure in the LGBTQ film world for many years. In addition to being a founding member of the advisory board for the Outfest UCLA Legacy Project for LGBTQ film preservation, she's a proud proprietor of Butch.org. And if I can make one final plug in my very long introduction, Jenni's film The Joy of Life will be playing here on Sunday night, and I highly recommend coming to see this on the big screen and getting to have them in conversation. So please join me in welcoming the co-curator for this series, Jenni Olson.
Thank you, Amanda. I'm going to get so much mileage out of that rock star thing. So you guys are in for such a treat. I'm gonna bring director Lisa Udelson up in a minute, but I want to talk a little bit, give you just a little bit of context for your enjoyment of the film. And so first I want to convey how lucky you guys are. This film has not had a public screening in a very long time, and has been virtually unseen since it took the festival world by storm about 20 years ago, where it won the audience awards at many festivals, including South by Southwest and Outfest. So on the one hand, it's an extremely fun and entertaining film. It's also, personally, it is such a moving film for many of the reasons that Amanda was pointing to in terms of the themes of this series. I was saying to Phranc earlier, I think there's this sense of Phranc, I mean, as a person and as a performer and as a figure in this film, of that as she just navigates the world, being her genuine, charming, humble self, that she's a hero, a gender-nonconforming hero, and a personal hero to me. And you know, I think to you, you'll see. I think so. That's been one of the themes that, as Caden and I were pulling the series together, that we thought about, of this idea of Butch Dykes, trans men, gender nonconforming, AFAB, assigned female at birth folks, as heroes. And it's been amazing throughout the whole series to have that sense and to experience that together as a community. And so I always love reading old reviews of films from when they came out. My favorite review of Lifetime Guarantee from 2001 is from Variety, which referred to Phranc as a 1950s sitcom dad-styled androgyne. Go Phranc. And the rave review in the San Francisco Chronicle at the time describes how Lisa was inspired to make the film after attending one of Phranc's Tupperware presentations. It was completely perfect and crazy, says Udelson. When she picked up that guitar, I practically tackled her to the floor. I wanted to make a film with her so badly. Please help me welcome to the stage the director of Lifetime Guarantee, Lisa Udelson.
Hello, everyone. Boy, I haven't done this in a couple of decades, introduced a film, but I would not be standing here, and we would not be here without Jenni. Jenni is indeed a rock star and a hero and a really nice person on top of it. She's amazing. So my greatest, biggest thank you goes to Jenni and to Caden as well for putting this amazing series together. And if you haven't seen any of the other films, I really recommend them. It's quite something. I also want to thank Amanda and May and the UCLA Film and TV Archives for putting together this great week of films. And I don't really like to say much before the movie. If you have questions or comments, we'll do that afterwards. But Jenni stole my thunder a little bit because I have reviews. I feel a little mad at Jenni right now. But I'm going to read these anyway about Phranc, and they came from Letterboxd. If anybody knows what Letterboxd is, it's basically film reviews online by any kind of person that wants to. So these are comments on the film and specifically about Phranc. A butch lesbian who sells Tupperware while singing? Yes, please. Phranc could sell me a lit stick of dynamite. I love Phranc so much, I will think about her every time I put my leftovers away. I would probably buy thousands of dollars worth of Tupperware if a hot butch was selling it to me. Phranc is so authentic and joyous, I would buy every piece of Tupperware she was selling, a true national treasure. And I think you'll agree that she is indeed that. And please help me welcome Phranc.
It's cool to get old. It's cool to get old. It's cool to get old in LA. I do it every day. So take your facelifts and your implants. I'll get a wheelchair and a bus pass. And for long as I can, I'll eat at the apple pan. 'Cause it's cool to get old. It's cool to get old. It's cool to get old in LA. That's where I'm gonna stay. I got some friends that I've been missing, so I'm grateful just to be living and breathe every day the sweet smog of LA. Cause it's cool to get old. It's cool to get old. It's cool to get old in LA. I can surf every day. So take your Botox and your Maalox. I'll go see Albert and get a fresh flat top. I'm not moving away. My barber's here in LA. It's cool to get old. It's cool to get old. It's cool to get old in LA. And if I'm going gray, do it on the freeway. Grow old in LA. Thank you. Thanks for showing up tonight. Thanks to Amanda and May and the Hammer and UCLA. And thanks to Lisa Udelson, the master director that made Lifetime Guarantee, and for the friendship that we developed making it. And really, the biggest shout out of all to Jenni Olson, the most amazing Butch you'll ever meet. It's because of her that this film is having a renaissance. And we're all here tonight because she made sure that this movie that had been tucked away for over 20 years has now come into the light. So here we are. Welcome to the Tupperware party. I'm your Tupperware lady, yeah. I'm your Tupperware lady. I'm your Tupperware lady, yeah. I'm your Tupperware lady. You can buy it from me. It's got a lifetime guarantee against chipping and breaking, cracking and peeling. So if you're feeling like you're a square, just get some Tupperware from me. Your Tupperware lady, oh yeah. I love Tupperware, baby. And I'll show you how to micro steam and a crystal wave. Rock your rock and serve. Spin your spin and save. Tupperware's our words our face. Oh, hey, get some Tupperware, baby, from me. Your Tupperware lady, date a party with me. I'll give you a hostess gift free. I'm so glad you're here with me. The Tupperware party. Let's get started. Amazing to have this opportunity, Jenni. So thanks so much for making it happen.
Oh my God.
I mean, really.
Oh. Thank you. It's so amazing, and it's so amazing to see it again after all these years. And I just have to say, Lisa, I mean, as a film, it's such an amazing film. I mean, Phranc, you're amazing. We'll get to that. But
Lisa captured everything.
It's so as a film, like the editing, the pace, the velocity, the choices. I mean, it's just like whoosh, we're.
Yes, but people don't know is that Lisa Udelson made this film by herself. Now, people say, oh, I need to get the camera person. No, I need to get a sound person. I need to get an editor. I have to have somebody to do this. I have to have costume. She had a camera, and she came with me. That's it. It was just the two of us.
And there's a lot of credits at the end of
a lot of credits at the end when it was finished. But on the road, it was just us. And we didn't know each other, did we?
We had met, actually, it's pretty
talk
true,
about
your story.
when you what is it?
I'll dedicate
to
the
the ground
screening to Rocky Peterson, who
Rocky
is
Peterson,
no longer
Rockland
with
J.
us. But
All the shalom.
I heard a message on her answering machine, because it was 20-some years ago. Hey, Rock, I'm having my first Tupperware party. And that's as far as it got before I was like, there's a documentary, Phranc doing Tupperware. And so we met through Rocky, and when we first started, we really didn't know each other at all. And, a friendship grew over that year that was very close and intimate, and hopefully it shows in the film.
Lisa's idea is like, she comes to the first Tupperware party and she goes, I think we should make a movie about your first year selling Tupperware. And I was like, I did my first party. I hadn't even really done my first party. So she had a vision, obviously. So
And so can you just talk a little bit about that? I mean, you how long was the production process? And like clearly you like did like spend a lot of time together.
It was, I guess, about a year, a little over a year and a
yeah, it
half.
was pretty much the first year. So what was it, 99? 99,
99,
2000,
2000.
Yeah.
Finished it in 2001.
Yeah.
And and in terms of the reception at the time, so it played like really widely, like around the festival circuit, and
Yeah.
like queer festivals and straight festivals
It played everywhere,
and
all over the place.
yeah, and like so I mean, I love that. I don't know. To me, like I love that it's such a queer film and as a queer audience, but it also and like obviously so much of it in terms of you, it's also like you're so amazing and charming and like I just picture straight audiences
Well,
I'm falling in love with you.
I'm in
and
my
being-
element because
Yeah.
I'm just in another huge women's community. Tupperware. I mean, how many guys are in the film?
right, right.
There you go. So the element is, the women. The women were just like that community was just amazing, as you could see. I mean, to watch in the theater, to see Norma Jean, to see Emma Chicas, to see Anita Garcia, all their names come back to me. I mean, it was Monique Jackson Cook, my manager, Eric. I mean, Lisa
They
met
were
all
amazing.
of them.
They were-
Lisa met all of them.
They
Wendy.
were wonderful, all of them.
Yeah.
It was really fun to hang around those women.
I mean, I found that also really moving that there's a sense of that they feel like these allies to you. And like there's particularly
Very protective
one
and-
scene where like you really get that. And I'm sort of curious. I mean, there was that experience that you had at that time and I, we were talking before the show about kind of this moment in time. And I think it's so powerful to see it at this moment in time. In terms of the current environment of anti-LGBT and especially anti-trans rhetoric and attacks, and we, need heroes like you and need stories like this. And I don't know. I mean, I'm curious if you, what do you think about it right now, in terms of that, and not to like put you on too much of a pedestal as my hero.
Don't put me on a pedestal,
Yeah.
Jenny, because I'll tell you, one of the reasons I didn't stop selling Tupperware, and I'll be completely honest with you, is just like, there's the Tupperware lady. There's the Tupperware lady. Frank disappeared into the Tupperware lady, and my ego couldn't totally take it because I became just a Tupperware lady, and I had to get Frank back. So I slowly edged out of Tupperware and kind of reclaimed performing more as the Frank, the Jewish lesbian folk singer, not so much the Jewish lesbian folk singing surfing Tupperware lady. Although I still love Tupperware, and I am wearing my vintage Tupperware badge from that time, and I always will have great respect. But I think what you're talking about is identity. And, I don't think we can have enough examples out in the world of people just standing up and being who they are. And that's like part of the essence. And it's just like, no matter who you are, it's never too late to be yourself. I mean, come on. I mean, and we're hearing that more and more from different people everywhere are saying, come on, be yourself, be authentic. Well, it's never too late, But I think that's what you're talking about. I mean,
Yeah.
And with the rise of anti-queer hate and transphobia and just, the whole Pandora's box, there's no better time to stand together as a community in being who we are and supporting each other. And so to see that kind of support in the film, I feel like that support I'm seeing in our community today, too. I mean, people are standing up and standing together, and I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah. So I want to ask you this. So it's been like 20 plus years, and like, what can you talk about? Like, why it's been unavailable all this time? And then also, like, what's the plan to make it more widely available now?
Well, the boring story is that 20 some years ago, there were rights and clearances that made it prohibitive, and there wasn't really much of a budget to do that. And then when the phone rang and it was you, and I was floored by this opportunity, and Eric Darbeloff, my co-producer, his company has grown from 2 people to I don't know how many, but his company is Roadside Attractions, if you're familiar with it. And he's a dear friend and like my brother from another mother. And he said, let's do this remaster. So we did it now. We put the money into it and remastered it. And I can't imagine he did that without the thought that it will have a life longer than much as we're so grateful for the Criterion Channel and this screening in Brooklyn, which we're looking forward to. I think he has other options, and we'll soon find out what those are.
Yeah, Eric was very vital in the film, like getting completed. Like I said, Lisa shot everything and really did everything by herself, but you know how much it takes to get a film finished and actually, produced and out in the world. And without him, it couldn't have happened. And especially now, getting the film remastered. When Jenni called, I talked to and then Lisa called me and she goes, "What do you think? What do you think?" And I'm like, "What?" Yeah, let's go. So we got that Tupper feeling down in our toes.
And Eric totally made it happen, so
Yeah.
we're very grateful.
Very grateful.
Yeah. Okay, well, everybody stay tuned to hear the plans, how it will get out there more, but it'll be very exciting. I think we can open it up to the audience for some questions. There's a couple of mics out there if you want to raise your hands.
So, hi Jenni, hi Lisa, hi Frank, it's Amy. It's so beautiful to see the film on screen. It's fantastic. I have seen it, but it was extraordinary to see it now, so thank you. I'm thinking about I'm thinking about that thread of showing Frank on the phone, and I didn't realize it when I've seen it before, but how important that was to see this character in isolation in the Tupper world, and how that was contrasted with you being in conversation with someone and showing like you as intimate and in relationship. I just loved that detail, and I wondered if you could talk about how that happened and if you were always on the phone with someone, and the decision to include that part of it.
Well, it was Lisa's decision on what she shot, but I would call Lisa, my partner who's here tonight, every night after the party before I came home. And when I was at Jubilee and when I was in Prim at the convention, I would call home every night. And so that's who I'm talking to. I'm talking to my beloved Lisa, telling her what happened, filling her in, because, so that was the connection. That's the conversation that you're seeing. And then I think I called my mom on Shabbos, and she's here tonight too. So, good Shabbos.
Yeah, it's an interesting point to bring up, Amy, because for me, it's the only thing that anchors it in the past is the phone with the cord. But you're right, it is a moment of connection for Frank, and I also was very appreciative that she let me be up in her business all the freaking time. From the time she opened her eyes, I was there, So she gave me a lot of grace and freedom, which I appreciated. So thank you for mentioning that.
Hi. I love this film, and I remember seeing it probably at Outfest back when it first came out. And it's definitely a very queer film, and yet when I was watching it this time, I don't think the word lesbian or gay was ever mentioned in the entire film. Was it?
Only when I introduced myself.
Okay. Oh, right. Yeah. Did you have any encounters with the women that you worked with in the Tupperware? I mean, we saw that one really awkward one where the one thought you were a man, but were there times when you were able to share your life or be challenged or, raise awareness?
Well, I think I raised awareness being at the conventions, which you could see, but in my community, I think you could see how I was embraced. I mean, there were definitely women in my Tupperware dealership that weren't completely like-minded, but they were still embraced me. And it was pretty positive. I mean, people are always asking me like where the negatives are, and where I've experienced all the great negativity, and I did not. You could see at the end my feelings were very hurt that my Donnie and Marie show didn't get included. I thought that was really a slight and perhaps slightly homophobic, but in my Tupper world, I felt very loved.
Hi, this is the first time I've seen the movie, so thank you very much. And I'm fascinated by documentaries in that when you heard that message, Lisa, you didn't know what was going to happen. And I've seen so many documentaries that it starts before you know the end of the story. So what made you hear a story and think that's a movie?
It's a good question. There is a gigantic leap of faith there where you get a seed of an idea, and there very well could have been no movie there. You start down the road and you wonder, and then you're like, there's a lot of good stuff here. And now Eric's gotten on board, and this isn't the short film I thought it was going to be. And then, I mean, I know it sucked for you, but there was the end of my movie was she just got slighted by Tupperware. So, it was, it's, for me, that's the drug involved, is like when things happen in front of your camera that you don't expect, you have no prediction, like just a couple things from the film. The airplane, when she sang on the airplane, moments like that are just like, oh my God, like they're just.
That woman had the cereal store.
But and you're like in the right place to shoot over her shoulder and get the women's face, like you can't make that shit up. It happens. And then you cross your fingers and have some faith that there's going to be an ending. And then there was. So maybe just a little bit of luck and keeping at it.
So we have time for 2 more questions. There's someone down here, or
Here in the front, too.
someone right here. Here, right here. Oh, right there.
I want to thank you very much. It's the first time I saw this. There is a background of sadness in this film for me. And I think it was so delicately portrayed. And I think it the contrast between the embracing of the people, and it cannot erase the sadness, because to fight so hard for acceptance, it is really exhausting. But now I often think, doesn't everybody have that, one way or another? Life is very difficult, so I congratulate you for both of you and the producer. I mean, it's really very sensitively done, and it's beyond the current frantic environment we're in, where we're kind of at each other. It's really sad, and thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Frank, I'm sure I'm not the only person here who used to see you at Highways in Santa Monica. It's been a long time, and you sound and look fantastic tonight. So it's so great to see you. I didn't see the film many years ago, and I absolutely loved it. Just a quick comment and then a quick question, if I may. I was very touched just by the energy in the room when you were with all the Tupperware ladies, and they just loved you, and you seemed so comfortable and confident and humorous, and it was just touching to see all of these women loving you. It was great. My question is, can you talk a little bit about whatever you're doing musically or coming up? Thank you.
Thank you. I'm still singing. My music has just started streaming on all platforms, which it's never been available before, so it's up there. And I'm preparing for a show called the Phranc the Butch Closet, which will include my art and sculptures and all of my music. So it's going to be, I have some flyers for after the show, October 28th at the Craig Kroll Gallery in Santa Monica.
I've been signaled that we have time for one more question. Yeah.
It seemed to me that a mechanism for the connection with the straight community was your artistry and creativity in your music, and the energy and the spirit that embodied. Do you think that there's an opportunity for us now to bridge some gaps through that kind of connection?
I think that music, I think performers have a wonderful platform and ability to kind of connect and spread a message sometimes that get the message out into the world and create that connection maybe easier because we have a platform and a vehicle. But I think that every single person can make a difference just by standing up and speaking out. I want to thank Amanda and May and Jenni Olson, who put together this incredible series and included and made this film happen again. And thank you so much, Lisa Udelson, for everything. I love you.
Well, it's all you. I was there. Thank you, Jenni.
Thank you. And so we're going to have a 10-minute intermission, and then I want to encourage everyone to come back for our second part of our double feature for more amazing gender nonconforming heroes in Shinjuku Boys.
Woohoo!